I'm Alex, otherwise known as the Executive Director of the Whitewater Gallery. I'm here in the gallery tonight. It's Friday, November 29th, and I'm documenting the calm before the storm. Tonight we have the Downtown Christmas Walk and our opening reception for David Chops, who has his exhibition, Urban Perception, Natural Reality, here right now. So next time you see me, I'm going to be surrounded by a lot more people. Let's go. You see what I mean? It's complete and utter chaos. Just kidding.
I don't think that's...
No? G-A-N-G. I-O-R-F. G-O-N-E.
You got it.
Hey.
I can't spell, so this is going to be very difficult.
Well, now that is one thing about this. It's hard to appreciate it fully if you can't read, or this isn't your language, it's English. But one of the things that I love about this piece so much is the way that it catches the shadow. So like, so the way different lights. So there'll be like two sets of shadows, like in some spots. Like here, see how there's like a shadow, and there's a secondary shadow, and then right, and then like
it's like there's like almost like a depth into the shadow.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I was thinking when I made it, was like here you got different.
Yeah, it's like different angles.
And I relate that to the external struggles that exist in the world also. So, which some of those cause some of the internal struggles that I have, you know? So, that's like the real vague answer. There's a lot that has gone into everything I've done here, like a lot of thought, a lot of years of personal experiences and growth and study that led to all this stuff. But there is an artist, I will be doing a talk at 7:30, and I'll go into a little bit more of it then, and then answer questions. But if you got any other questions, you're welcome. Three major pieces, and then we'll just start with this one. So this one, you may have noticed, kind of is like, it's like just sitting here. There's light is weird colored, and over here there's like something that looks maybe like a landscape. And this, for me, I grew up in a city, and then I moved to a rural area. And when I was living in the city, I can remember even as a kid, whenever we'd go for like a long drive or something, and then we'd go by some natural stuff. This was like a big city. Like I only ever saw concrete. And I would see out the car window, and I would see the nature going by, and I was drawn to it, right? So this is kind of like personal in that way, but it's also, as I got older, I started to learn that some interesting things, like cities can't exist without nature, but nature can exist without cities, and maybe even thrive more without cities. And so I wanted to present this piece to, you know, as a reflection point of like, what is my relationship with these things? What are their relationships with each other? Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the deal. So, is there any questions about this art piece here? Nope. Okay, moving on to the next piece. Okay, so this here, this is three phrases that I made, and you have to, it's interactive, like, not like this one where you have to touch it to interact with it by opening doors, but you have to interact with it by like, you can't just get some instant gratification, you have to spend time with it to fully appreciate it, and you have to move your body around, you have to like, get in here and see, what is this trying to say? And it's three phrases, each one a different bi-color, and each one has a relationship with each other from what it says, and this talks to my own personal struggles with things like climate change, influences like through social media, television, radio, billboards, magazines, newspapers that are all trying to influence my thinking, and not always for my interests, but for the interests of the people who are doing the influencing, and then also which caused me a lot of anger and frustration as a youth. It took me a long time to understand that I can be both angry, frustrated, sad, and also I can have joy, which is this last phrase. What that represents is having joy. You can have both. You can be happy and sad. You can be angry and you can be peaceful. You can have all of that going on at the same time, and that's okay. It might even be a really healthy way to be. At least for me in my personal journey, I found that that was a healthy way to be. So, that's this thing. If you want to know what the words say, you'll have to spend time with it. So, any questions on this?
Like that one is like a rooms.
It's like a what?
Rooms, like a kitchen, bathroom, and
Does it have rooms?
yeah.
I do want to make way more phrases and fill larger spaces with even more phrases, maybe even a short story at some point, which would be a ridiculous thing, but it's already kind of ridiculous, so why stop, right? Any other questions?
The sound, the music.
The music,
Does that go-
that's a good segue to this next art piece over here. Thank you. So this art piece over here this was part of a much larger piece that I did out in the field. But the sounds, to answer your question, those are recordings of celestial bodies. So like pulsar stars and the moon, planets, gaseous clouds, things like that NASA took. And then they translated it into sounds that we can understand with our ears, right? And because this piece here is themed in like the celestial, so for me, this piece comes from like, I don't know how many of you have the experience of like you're out, maybe it's a new moon, you see the Milky Way galaxy, and you're like, wow, I'm like so small, that's so big. Kind of puts things into perspective, and so for me that was really important. The first time I had that experience, it was like it changed me forever. I think it does for a lot of people, and so this, if you in here, there's some different a lot of scientific facts actually that speak to a theme of life and death. So like stars are born from stars dying. Star dies, explodes all its matter into the universe, and then new stars are born from that matter. So life comes from death, and that's what the skull is representing, like an exploding star. But like you can find that anywhere, like in the universe or in human experience or on Earth, right? So within the doors, and then it's interactive. So to fully appreciate the art, you have to touch it, which is not a normal thing for a gallery. Normally it's no touchy, right? So this is maybe fun, I don't know. But, so, any questions on this? Okay. Thank you for attending the art talk.
So here we are with David Chops, who has just experienced an opening reception at the Whitewater
Yes.
Gallery. So how do you feel about your night?
Good, this is super fun. A lot of people coming through, super positive reactions, kind of some minds blown. I could see them just like, I don't understand what this is, but it's awesome. And then I talked to them and they expressed that to me, and so yeah, that's exactly the kind of reaction that's kind of like really who I'm making this for. I'm making for the people who are just like, oh my god, I didn't know I needed this. Now that I'm in front of it and I'm experiencing it, like, thank you, oh my gosh, you know?
That's a good segue to my next question, which
Okay.
is like, well, why do you make art? What makes you make art?
Holy moly.
It's a big question.
That's a big question. Yeah, so personally, okay, so like as a kid, not easy childhood, like pretty sucky actually. And so I ran away from home, ran away from a lot of things. that I needed to get away from for my own safety and just my own sanity. And I found myself in subcultural movements that were like had a strong emphasis on art, but not like normal whatever, like rectangles on a wall with oil paint on it kind of art, like graffiti art or like just crazy different stuff. And so in getting that art was like therapy for me. It was like safety for me, and so much more. So now that I'm older and I'm super capable, I can like make really pretty cool stuff. Like I'm pretty handy that way. I want to offer that as well, like show that art doesn't have to just be a rectangle on a wall. It can be like just whatever you want it to be. You know, you can just go crazy with it. There's no rules to this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the materials you're using for this show.
Materials.
Yeah.
Okay, so like with this, for instance, like all this wood came off of my lumber mill. It's like kind of the scrap leftover stuff when you're making lumber. And like the hinges and the metal came out of a travel trailer that I stripped down and I salvaged all the parts out of it. Same with like the backing boards on the inside that came out of the travel trailer. Those were walls of the travel trailer. A lot of the paint, most of the paint in all of this is like oops paint, like mist tints from the hardware store, like discounted paint. Sometimes I mix the colors. This is plywood. This is actually kind of expensive, it's a little dumb, but I want to make more because it's super cool. It's hard to salvage like this much 3/4 inch plywood, so this is all just like new stuff, but it has the mist paint on it. Burlap, you probably noticed like a ton of burlap throughout this whole thing. I love burlap. You can do so much with it, like it's porous, so you can put lights on the other side of it and it'll glow through, or you can push paint through and it'll go to the other side, and then that can be a whole nother thing that's going on. So yeah, mostly wood and burlap, really, is, you know, what I'm playing with a lot. I like that stuff.
So what is the craziest art experience you've ever had?
I mean,
in
tonight's
your
pretty
life?
crazy. Like, this is my first, like, real show. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is like real stuff. Like,
It's
so,
legit.
Yeah, it's legit. So, but I've done, probably some of the craziest stuff I've done is like I used to do graffiti art. So I was like in train yards a lot and on freeways and stuff and always looking over my shoulder, like trying not to get arrested. Don't tell anybody, don't tell the cops. Okay, so that was a long time ago, but then I've done, this piece was actually part of a much larger, like 56 foot in diameter, like big thing that I did at a Burning Man regional event this last year. And that was pretty amazing. There's like 1,000 people there looking at it. I've done a lot of like weird underground art shows and stuff. Like, I don't know, like, but this is like super fun. Like having this gallery space and good lighting. It's really great. It's a good experience.
So one last thing. So tell me about the sounds we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, the sounds. Okay. So yeah, that's part of this because it's kind of a celestial themed art piece. And these are recordings of celestial bodies by NASA and converted into sound that we can like understand with our ears. So there's like, you know, other planets, our sun, the moon, there's like pulsar stars, there's other galaxies, gaseous clouds, things like that. That's what we're hearing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any final words for the fans of Whitewater Gallery?
You need to understand this place is amazing, like so much more beyond this show. You need to really just go to the website and read about some of its history and like what the principles are. Like this is a super rad space. And so if you're like wanting to do some rad stuff, like you should at least stop by. If not, like try to get some art in here because they're very welcoming here.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, what a night. Risk and innovation in the arts happening right here in North Bay at your local Artist Run Center. Don't forget to check us out at whitewatergallery.com, and I'm on my way out the door. But now I'm back. And I'm back because I need to tell you about Hyper Creative. Hypercreative is the new video series that Whitewater Gallery is launching as of right now. In this series, I'm not only going to be showing you what's going on behind the scenes and on the scene here in our gallery space, but I'm going to be talking to artists from the region, artists who are visiting the region, and sharing intimate stories with the arts and culture workers who keep the Nipissing region arts and culture community up and running. So, if you enjoy art and the people who make it happen, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, and join us, won't you?